Okay, let's dive into a really common home renovation idea, specifically the sunroom edition. You know the one.
Oh, yeah. The classic glass box in the back of the house.
Exactly. So today we're kind of unpacking some insights from excerpts of Rethinking the Sunroom, Outdoor Living Design.
Right, and it mentions VizX Design Studios approach, doesn't it? This hashtag the outdoor living idea.
It does. And our mission for this deep dive is really to explore this question the source brings up. If you, or maybe a client, is thinking sunroom,
Yeah,
are they actually asking for more walls, or is it, deeper? Is it about an experience?
that's a great question.
Let's see what this source says people really want from their outdoor space.
Well, what's interesting right off the bat is how this source challenges that default, that sort of automatic, let's build a sunroom idea.
How so?
It starts with this scenario. You know, a homeowner calls a designer, says, I want a sunroom off the back. Pretty standard request.
Seems straightforward, yeah.
But the designer, using this philosophy, the source calls hashtag smart design and hashtag design before build.
Mm.
They don't just jump to designing a box.
Okay.
They ask, what's the goal here? What do you actually want to do in this space?
Ah, okay. And the goals the client mentions in the source, they sound really familiar.
Totally. Like wanting a place to relax,
Comfort.
be comfortable even when, the bugs are buzzing around.
Right, always a factor.
A spot to hang out with friends in the evening, maybe add a fire feature down the line. It wasn't about the room itself, really.
It was about the feeling, the function, comfort, connection, actually using the space.
Precisely. And that leads to the designer's key question, according to the source. Is it really a sunroom you want?
Ooh.
Or is it just what you think you need to get that experience you're picturing?
Ooh, that's a good one. The source says there was silence after that.
Yeah. Suggests it really made the client pause and think.
Because, and the source makes this point, a sunroom, while nice, is still fundamentally, well, a box.
It is. It adds another layer of separation. More walls between you and the actual outdoors.
The very things people often crave when they think outdoor living, the breeze, the sounds, that feeling of openness.
Or just guests moving easily between the house and the garden at a party.
Right.
Exactly. The source suggests people don't want another room so much as a connection to the outside.
They want that integration, maybe, not separation.
That's where hashtag the art of outdoor living idea seems to come in.
Yeah.
Designing spaces that give you the feeling that let you do the things you want using the outdoors.
Okay, and this is where it gets practical financially, too. The source argues you might get that experience for the same cost, maybe even less, using different design features, things that aren't a whole new walled structure.
Yeah, think back to those client goals. Bug-free comfort, relaxing evenings, friends, fire feature.
The source says you can achieve that differently.
Totally. It talks about things like maybe a well-designed deck that feels part of the yard, and a nice pergola for shade. And maybe a ceiling fan, the airflow can actually keep a lot of bugs away.
Ah, interesting. So you get that bug-free goal without full screens sometimes.
Potentially, yeah. Then maybe a dedicated lounge area, comfy seating that's in the garden, not looking at it through glass.
And the fire feature they wanted.
Becomes a natural centerpiece for those evenings outside. Warmth, ambiance, things walls don't really provide in the same way.
So instead of one single enclosed box.
You get layers, a dynamic space, an experience.
It's that hashtag smart design thing, again, focusing on how you want to feel, what you want to do.
Right. It's more flexible, engages more senses, and properly connects you to the outdoors instead of just giving you a window onto it.
So the main takeaway here seems to be that the sunroom idea is often just the default.
It's the familiar structure people think of for outdoor comfort, yeah. But the real objective is the experience.
Comfort, connection, relaxation, that easy flow.
And as the source suggests, especially through this hashtag the art of outdoor living lens, there are often better, more integrated ways to get that without building more walls.
So if you are listening and maybe dreaming about adding on to your home, thinking about that sunroom.
Pause.
Yeah, pause for a second. Ask yourself, really dig deep. What's the core experience I'm actually looking for here?
What do I want to feel? What do I want to do?
And then really question if that first solution that popped into your head, that familiar box.
Is it truly the best way or just the most obvious way to get that feeling, that function?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Beyond just houses.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating question for life in general, maybe. How often do we default to a standard box solution when what we truly desire underneath is something else? Maybe more freedom, flexibility, connection. a more integrated experience.
That's a great point to end on. It encourages you to really explore the possibilities before just, building the first structure that comes to mind.
Exactly. I think about the experience first.